The first alien science ships have been observed on the interior rim of the explored arm of the galaxy, which means it's time for the Ullyxr to make sure this arm stays theirs. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris Toxoids in our Heralds of the Dark Nova series. This is Meneth, if you're curious what star system we were starting out looking at. And it is the first of a couple of systems I would like to take, but certainly Meneth would be the one that I want to lock down, and we are presently in the process of locking it down. Before we unpause, let's take a look at what else we have going on. Leavenbank is building a hive district, which should compensate nicely for that housing shortage and maybe even help with some of the stability due to the overcrowding, stability issues due to the overcrowding that we're looking at. Grimvoss also has some housing issues, not as many stability issues, but we probably need to go ahead and resolve this. In this case, because I know I'm going to need more alloys soon, I'm going to go ahead and arrange for... Let's sell some of our dark matter, which we're very luckily procuring, and use it to buy the minerals we need in order to set up an industrial district. There's that. We have a science ship investigating the second archaeological site. I was reminded in the comments, and this is perfectly accurate, I think it was Redcap that pointed this out, thank you, buddy. The Grunor were added, which is the precursor race that we're currently dealing with. Well, it's the Baal that we are also investigating at the moment, but the Grunor are the original ones that we discovered. And they were added when the archaeological sites were added to Stellaris. So what that means is that we will be kind of investigating this series of archaeological sites in a way that's a little bit different from the more vanilla approach to the precursors, which is why you've heard me comment over a few episodes. And I might have hinted at this, but it was confirmed in the comments. And again, I appreciate it. Which is why, again, you've heard me comment on this weirdness with the precursors and not quite having a list yet when I expected to. Usually when you run into a precursor race, you get an immediate list of things that you've discovered or can discover. And the fact that that wasn't there right away was throwing me off a little bit. And that's just because the Grunor are newer. It's been a while since I've encountered them, even in a more recent game. So let's go back up to speed 2. This starbase should be done any second, and we're going to keep a close eye on that. We have a science ship exploring Inist. The fact that we're not seeing anything in Inist is a good sign. That means we may be able to lock this system down and build onto our buffer. Meneth is done. Let's build a mining station there. And we have an additional construction ship done in Canadrius. Let's build that mining station, followed by that research station. We have a colony ship on the way to Alcade 3. Now remember, Alcade 3 has the exofungus infestation, so that's going to reduce the habitability of the planet and the planetary build speed. We are, however, going to get additional society research from jobs. I had a fun exchange with someone in the comments about how I remember commenting that it's unusual for buildings to have a research bonus that is just geared towards a particular type of research. And it used to be, way back in the day, and I'd completely forgotten about this, it used to be that in Stellaris you had individual buildings for different types of research, for physics research, for society research, for engineering research, which I had utterly and completely, it was just gone. It was out of my mind, but that is something that used to be the case. And certainly all of the systems, research and otherwise, have changed a great deal. The drones and their tireless, endless work of extracting ever-diminishing resources from their local planetoids make for a somewhat dull but nevertheless informative subject of study. In fact, we could stand to learn a thing or two about maximizing mineral extraction rates while conserving energy. Why do you think I went for this project? Additionally, we have found that the drones are not completely silent. They emit signal pings, though extremely infrequently, and at a wavelength hard to isolate from background noise. Whether there is anyone left to receive these pings may be a mystery better left for another time. So we can say easy prey, and killing them becomes easier for us, or we can say fascinating automata and gain a mining station minerals output bonus across the Empire for the rest of the game. Which should I go with, I wonder? I mean, unless you're an extremely aggressive player who just likes killing things, you're going to go with the second choice every time. It's just that simple, because you get a bonus for the rest of the game versus a bonus that'll help you kill things and then they're gone and then you don't benefit anymore. Yeah. Again, narratively, it might fit a certain purpose to go for the just sheer aggressive approach. And I could even play a series at some point where I would do that because of the narrative appeal of it. But it definitely... Oh, wait, hang on. What do we have here? That's a science ship. Okay, so that's good. I might be able to lock this down before they finish exploring. Okay. Ooh, Levenbank has an additional building slot since we finished this hive district. So what else can we build here? We've already got spawning pools and research labs. Probably Sensorium Sweet Time. Yep, let's go ahead and get that added to continue our build up towards more Ascension perks. A new metal. Ooh, a detailed surface scan of F-29866 have identified a large impact crater containing the wreckage of several ancient starships of unknown design. The ships appear to be completely devoid of life support systems, leading us to suspect that they were either unusually large drones or controlled by some form of artificial intelligence. Interestingly, the hull of the ships was constructed out of living metal, an exceedingly rare and inorganic material with many unique properties. This metal can be programmed to assume a certain shape or form, that's handy, and it will slowly regrow itself if damaged. Over a period of several millennia, the surviving metal from the wrecked ships was fused into a large and extremely dense deposit that could potentially be mined for centuries to come. So we will gain the research option for living metal and get a living metal deposit right there on Zom, which will just produce one per month, but I'll take it. And that's, I like how central that is in our territory as well. That's quite nice.
System survey complete.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and send this construction ship there. Meanwhile, in Meneth, I'm going to go ahead and give the order. I haven't done this yet, which is, I feel a little bit behind in doing so. But we're going to make a couple of star bases. Because our current only known threat is coming from this direction, I'm going to go ahead and give the order for both Meneth and Stimsis to be star bases. That way, any attacking force that were to come in this way would have to fight through 2 bases to get in. So we're just going to turtle up real hard in the direction of the threat for now. Alright, Alright, we need to build those research stations. I thought I'd queued those up, but maybe I'd use the resources for something else. That happens. Ooh, what do we have here? More Grunner stuff. The Baron. Thick layers of ash and a notable mass extinction event on the geological record coincide with material previously extracted from Grunner data crystals, suggesting the Grunner firebombed Euscoria 3 with a gelling incendiary roughly 7 million years ago. Widespread deforestation of the planet's surface disrupted local ecosystems, and the lack of oxygen-fixing vegetation gradually depleted the planet's atmosphere over the next 60,000 years. That sucks. Unfortunate. So we got some ancient artifacts from that, and that's not our first pile of ancient monuments or ancient artifacts that we've piled up. So let's take a look. So far, we don't have a lot that we can do with those, but we have 21 of them. So we can use artifact relays. Able to enhance the efficiency of all our menial drones for 2. And that's on each planet. Synapse drones each provide... Okay, so is this permanent? Okay, no, it expires in 3,600 days. Okay, well, still, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do that. On our 4, let's say 4 core planets. Let's not go too crazy using up these artifacts, because they could come in handy for other things later, and I don't want to be short on artifacts for certain major decisions later on. Alright, and now we get to choose a new tree. So we have expansion and prosperity so far. I will almost certainly go for unyielding now. Yeah. Because we have to make sure that we are defensive against this new threat that we've just discovered. And I want to stay on theme for the Ullyxr Collective. So let's go ahead and go with unyielding. I mentioned when I chose prosperity that I would almost certainly choose unyielding next. We might go for discovery next afterwards. A few people asked in the comments, why not discovery sooner? I don't always go for discovery if I feel like I'm off to a good start scientifically, and in this series I certainly feel like I'm off to a good start scientifically. So I usually go for discovery myself when I feel like I need the boost, if that makes sense. but I can understand why, since it's a boost to your research output in general, goes back to what I was saying a moment ago. Like, you should go for bonuses that kind of apply for the entirety of your playthrough. And research is something that's going to be going the entire time you're playing, and it will be constantly helping you. So an Ascension perk that boosts that is one that you should prioritize in most cases. I agree with that logic. Okay, so we just need enough influence to build up. Need 19 more. What do we have here? Omicron aliens. So we've got some progress on the first contact front. Though we have struggled to gain access to enough signals for our translation drones to make sense of the Omicron aliens, the latest reports are startling. The aliens we first encountered in the Stimsys system seem to be organized as individuals rather than as a hive mind. They appear able to act with minimal input from any sort of collective. Most disturbingly, they are often poorly coordinated, and individual drones do not appear to instinctively know what other drones are doing. That is disturbing indeed. We are not sure yet how they are able to operate at a sufficiently intelligent level to have advanced to the point of spaceflight. Perhaps there is a collective behind them, but the drones are simply far more independent than those we are used to. We must find out more about them. I love the individualized first contact messages. This is very tailored to the fact that we are coming from the perspective of a hive mind that doesn't understand aliens that aren't hive-minded. All right, so this is what they look like. And it looks like they are taking a hostile stance. Not good. All right, so we're going to continue to wait so we can lock down Enest as soon as possible. The Meneth starbase has finished its construction queue. Very good. So has the Stimsys base. Oh, and it looks like we've also finished research. So mining station output has been improved by 10%. What else can we do? A lot. I'm going to go ahead and unlock Ceramo Metal Armor, just because that's going to be done in 26 months, and it's going to be helping to boost the combat capabilities of literally all of our ships. We do need to get a starbase built in Efall as well, because we have an archaeological site here that is likely to be connected to the precursors. But our priority is Enest in about 10 days. And there we go. Now, we have a couple of worlds. We have this tomb world, and there's a desert world. Yeah, right there. Jana 5A. One thing that I haven't used yet are the lithoid meteorites. I'm not too familiar with... someone told me about it in the comments, and so I read and I kind of parsed the comment, but having not used the meteorites, that's something that's very specific to lithoid colonization, and it might be something that I've done a little bit incorrectly so far in the series. Let's see if we can find out more about that. They're a hive mind. Species. Lithoid. Consumes minerals instead of food. Yep. Maybe if I look at the starbase, it'll tell me more. Let's take a look. Shipyard. Nope. So it doesn't cost alloys to construct the meteorites. But from what I understand, it creates a habitability hit on the planet that you attack. So you don't necessarily want to use it on something like this, but you would use a meteorite on a planet like Alkaid 3, or some of the planets that we've already colonized using standard colony ships, because what it does is it hits the habitability, but not in a way that hurts the lithoids, and in a way that makes the planets undesirable to other species. That's the key metric, apparently. So that might be something I experiment with later in the series, but for now, I'm kind of comfortable just using the existing colony approach, if that's fair. All right, let's go ahead and build these mining stations. That'll give me some additional energy per turn. We continue to be doing quite well on that front. I'm going to build that research station as well.
Construction complete.
Notice that I'm having to worry less and less. What do we have here? Space amoeba? Okay. I'm having to worry less and less about whether I have enough resources to do things when it's time to do things. So let me go ahead and get some defense platforms built here. First of all, I want to have... Oh, I forgot I already have hangars. That's awesome. Let's do just a gun battery. We'll do a couple of gun batteries to start, but we'll eventually be changing that. And then I usually tend to go in the beginning here for a communications jammer because this reduces combat disengagement chance. The way that works in combat is when ships dip below, I think it's 50% health, but when they dip below a certain percentage health and they're starting to, worry about whether or not they're going to survive a fight, there is a dice that they roll basically that determines whether or not they run from a fight. Do they run or do they stay and fight? If they run, of course, they live to fight another day, which will increase the likelihood that the enemy, or the person controlling that ship loses that fight because it takes a ship out of the fight. But it also allows them to keep some of their ships. Whereas if you reduce the chance that ships can disengage from combat, then if that ship dies, it's dead and it has to be rebuilt. So communications jammer is handy for making sure you do truly lethal damage to enemy fleets.
Colony sheathed.
Okay, so it looks like we have Largol set up here. So why don't we go ahead and build spawning pools? Again, that's just to increase the rate at which we are expanding. And I will go ahead and just be pretty basic. We're going to say Sensorium Suite because that will allow us to continue generating Unity at a rapid pace. Again, the more Ascension perks I've unlocked, the more Unity every single Sensorium Suite on every single planet generates. And I'm building them so far on every world that I have. And I have a lot of colonies for this early in the game. So, it's working out pretty well so far. All right, speaking of that, all right, we need 27 more influence and we'll be able to incorporate Efall. Ooh, it looks like we have a Savannah world here. All right, there may be some mining drones in Escant, but I'm liking the look of this area over here. So if we take Ethol, we'll lock down this sector or section of planets. Mining your own business. Deep within a crevice of the giant asteroid A159C, we have found something astonishing. There is mining gear attached to the rock, digging itself into the vast depth of the asteroid. It stands abandoned, with no sign of who placed it there. If we can stop the machine, we might be able to learn something about the technology used to build it, but we must hurry before random debris crushes it. So we could try and stop the machine, or we can scrap it for materials. Let's go ahead and try and stop it.
Situation log.
Now, as I recall, that will require a construction ship. Yep. All right, so we'll send this one to do that after they are done with their current tasks. And then we'll just wait for Efall. So this is really quite good. We did lock down some areas of space that not only contain a lot of planets for us to colonize, but help protect Omen, our home system, from any kind of invasion. That worked out. All right, the Stimsis station needs some, let's say, gun batteries as well. And then I may go ahead... Oh yeah, we need to set up the communication jammer too. Let's do that. Let me re-examine my creations so far as defense platforms. I haven't built any destroyers yet, so I need to look at that. All right, River's Break, Standing Edge, Imbued Purpose. Okay. So does it go in order? River's Break. Okay, so it would be... I don't have a ton of alloys right now. I have 335. These cost 260. I'm going to go ahead and say build one, just to have a platform in Meneth. Because again, this is the real place I want to make sure I'm defended. Okay, this science ship is not doing anything anymore. Why don't you just start auto-exploring? Unless, of course, there are additional anomalies. Let's look around real quick. Do I have any anomalies that I've been sitting on? No, not really. All of the anomalies got researched. So that is fine. We'll have that science ship go back to auto-exploring. Everything else looks good? Yep. So we're just waiting on Efall. We need 10 more influence. It's going to take a couple of months. That'll say 6. Oh, 5. Nice. So a little bit of rounding happening there. That's fine. Almost there.
Spaceborne life form encounter.
Uh-oh, what do we have here? Oh, space amoebas in Dandar. And, oh, this looks like look at this! We might be able to lock this down, too, before our neighbors get into it, if we can get all the way to that system. So, here's how this is going to go. I want you to survey that system. We'll finish it. Where are you? You're in Anahita? You know what? It's going to take 720 days, but go ahead and research it. It's hard. It'll take longer than usual, but go ahead, get it done. All right, so there's that. You survey that system. If I can get that in my territory, then we have an entire cluster here on this buffer as well. So we will be buffered in every meaningful direction by an entire cluster of stars and then some. So fingers crossed that can actually occur. How's the first process, or the first contact process coming? All right, so we've got about 20 days until something else happens. Maybe. All right, let's go ahead and build that starbase in Efall. Here we go. Our translation drones have made a major breakthrough, good, in their efforts to decipher the signals picked up from the Omicron aliens, and are now confident that we will be able to communicate with them, pause, on a sufficient level to open diplomatic channels with them. Their investigations have confirmed what we suspected. The Aramathi, as we now know them to be properly called, completely lacks any sort of collective intelligence and is instead made up of independent thinking individuals who, for reasons we don't properly understand yet, choose to organize themselves into what they call a direct democracy. The discovery of a highly advanced civilization of individuals has led us to question many of our assumptions about the nature of the universe. We have developed a not insignificant part of ourselves to investigating how they developed and how they overcome the challenges inherent to the lack of a collective consciousness as we know it. So this will give us 45 influence outright, and we will have 20 intel on the Aramathian Council and a little bit of society research. Okay. So these are democratic crusaders. Remember that we're a hive mind, so we don't have governing ethics like they do. We're a hive mind. We're a gestalt consciousness. So none of these options are going to sound particularly amazing to them, but we could be somewhat wary. So if we said the collective consciousness will be watching you, that means that they will not be able to spy on us quite as easily, or we could be hostile. I'm not going to be hostile. I'm also not going to be friendly. Again, we're going to be cautious. So the collective consciousness will be watching you. Our theoretical models have long suggested the existence of other intelligent civilizations in our galaxy. This theory has now been confirmed. The alien political entity that we have encountered has a level of technology similar to our own, indicating that we achieved spaceflight at roughly the same time. They are different. So where are they is the question. Oh, there they are. Ah, damn. So they do actually control that system. I was feeling like that was a little bit too good to be true. But at least we might be able to lock down Targon. So let's see if we can do that at least. I think we might be able to pull that off, because I would like to have this Tundra world locked down too. It's not a best case scenario. I would have liked to have the whole cluster, but who knows? Maybe we can fight them for it. All right, they have closed their borders. We already have our border set up. Let's go ahead and we need to start spying on them. We need to start learning more about them as much as possible. So let's gather some intel. Spy network formed. Our presence on the in the Aramathian Council has taken on a clandestine aspect. Spy master Gent Dockflast is now situated at the core of a burgeoning spy network in Aramathian space. Okay, so that research station is built. Build that starbase right now. Okay, so hold on a second. This science ship will not be back until when? going to be a year and a half. Damn it. I need you now. That's the science ship that was exploring, and they got, because the borders were closed, they got booted out, and now they're in subspace, missing in action until 2232, December 19th. Next year. Great.
Attrition complete.
Grimboss. You need something. Question is what? Probably more alloy production, I would guess, but also more energy could be a good idea. This is a planet that has a lot of space for alloy production, so let's lean into that a little bit. I'll just need to keep a very close eye on my energy situation, especially now that we have an alien neighbor.
Innovation rollout.
All right, Sorama Metal Armor is done with its research. Oh, good. We can research the Starhold, and we can research the coil gun. I'm going to go ahead and say that I want the Starhold. That's going to be the most sensible choice. Okay, so we can upgrade some of our ships here, and this will increase fleet power. This is with the new armor. All right, so the Targon A starbase is being built. That science ship is not going to be back for another year, hiding in vivid sight. Some of the operatives we control in the Aramathian Council are beginning to draw unusual amounts of attention. They are regarded as somehow attractive. We have no reason to believe their cover identities are in jeopardy, but their growing notoriety and influence put strain on the deniability of our spy network. This could be advantageous if managed well, so we could change our infiltration level, but we'll have influential operatives for 6 years, which means operations will be easier, and infiltration speed will be... See, this is interesting. Normally, the way that tooltips work in Stellaris is that... Yeah, so infiltration speed will be reduced. Okay. Sorry, I was seeing the minus, and I was thinking in terms of it taking less time, but this is referring to speed, not the amount of time it takes. So a reduction is, in fact, negative. I was seeing the minus, but also seeing the red and being like, is that right? But that is, in fact, a penalty, not a bonus. So I could pay to arrange for adjustments. Yeah, I'm just going to pay to arrange for adjustments. And now that we have the Targon system almost locked down, let me go ahead and get... Yep, we're going to have defensive zeal set up just to really make them think twice about any kind of moves. I am going to go ahead and queue up a starport here in Ennist. And we are building this starbase in Targon. About 11 months, 10 months now, and that science ship will be back. All right, naval capacity plus 30. That's good timing. Ooh, terraforming. Nice. Regenerative hull tissue. Nice. Tile blockers. Nice. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for unity of purpose to reduce deviancy and improve our amenities, just to make sure the population is as efficient as possible in their resource production. Now would be a bad time for any kind of deviancy issues within the collective to become a bottleneck. Okay. Ooh, encountering Yonix Maw. We've made first contact with mysterious aliens, so this is going to be it's going to be an enclave. Or no, it's going to be energy entity. We should find out whether they are capable of communicating with us and decide a portion, or dedicate a portion of ourselves to translating their language if this proves to be the case. For now, they have been given the designation Pay Aliens. That has already been a designation that someone has received, but we can send this envoy. So Styok Obduras has become our envoy to them. And with the Targon system added to our territory, I will use this as a stopping point, February 15th of 2232. Obviously, I'm saying February. That's me talking, not the Ullyxr. They don't have a... they don't have a Gregorian calendar. But anyhow, we are going to go for, in the next episode, locking down as much territory as we can along this arm, while still seeing what we can do to more fully explore in these directions to see how much farther we can expand before running into any competition. But so far, this is a really good start. I'm optimistic. We've made some good progress in this episode, and now we just need to think about maybe where we can use our fleet to knock out some of these aliens that are making life more difficult, because we've got space amoebas, a couple of different fleets of space amoebas to take care of, and they're blocking potentially good planets that I would like to colonize a little bit closer to our friends, but I would like to have more star bases in this area anyway. So, with that said, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.